Okay, so I'm just going to record a quick off-the-cuff video because today is the day that this beautiful fella was due to leave his body behind. And the last week has been a bit of a crazy journey because, well, this time last week he was definitely suffering and unable to do much except suffer. And as the person who my society decides is responsible for him, to take some tough decisions. And it's really easy to become really confused by all that and not really know what's best, who or what should be being served, and frankly what to do. So just in terms of the practical stuff, so I did put him on steroidal medication, and said to myself that if he wasn't walking and wagging his tail by the end of the week, then today, Monday, he'd be dispatched, released, set free. And what actually happened is that he did get better and better, not necessarily to that extent. So over the weekend I continued his medication, and what I've decided, so I rationalised my thinking, I clarified my thinking like this, from my worldview and my set of ethics, it's okay to take a life or to act with violence if it is to alleviate suffering. And knowing my dog, I know that he looks like he's a bit tired now, but he's just had his medication, so he might be feeling a little bit nauseous. Knowing my dog, I've decided that he's not suffering either physically, although there may be a little bit of pain, or mentally he's not as distraught as he was by the situation in which he finds himself in, which, testimony to him, that's a big adaptation to make. He is able, sometimes with a lot of cajoling, to get up and walk a few paces, but he's definitely still basically bedridden. And he seems to be handling that very well. So the reason that I'm talking about all this, though, in this rambling, unthought through video, is that yesterday I took part in an event, the core subject of which was selfishness, and this situation really brings that to the forefront, or crystallizes a lot about that, because we've become very attached to our pets, and it's easy to hold on to them even if they are suffering, because we can't let go, which is something that I definitely didn't want to do. But the other possibility at the other end of the scale is that we can martyr ourselves and do too much. And certainly I'm on the verge of doing that, because he needs carrying out, which means that I need to rope my friends into helping with that. He's taking up a lot of time and energy, and I know that I did martyr myself with my father, which I don't regret for one moment. But it's important to realise that actually sometimes when we're doing that, and we're confirming our identity through this martyrdom, that's actually quite a selfish act as well. And if I was doing that and I wasn't really rationally clear that he's not suffering, if I was just martyring myself because he's moving in the right direction, that could also be seen as a bit of a selfish act, because you're putting yourself at the centre of the universe. And that, I want to crystallise my thinking on selfishness, which is that anything that you do, even if it appears to be a selfless act, if it's done with the motives of putting yourself at the centre of the universe, so your suffering, your well-being, your inability to let go, your desire to feel fulfilled by achieving an amazing recovery, and I must admit there's a slight element of that with me, having been through what I did with my father. that is the height of selfishness. So it's not about acting for your own benefits, it's acting to put yourself at the center of the universe. And so now this is where I get technical and yoga on you. Bramacharya, which in the West is often seen as sexual abstinence, for me and my tradition is more about putting yourself at the center of, one, the universe, but more importantly, relationships. So the way that you interact with people, which includes sexually, if it's about putting yourself at the center of those relationships and only thinking about your needs, which then sort of unfolds into all the issues that we see today in terms of manipulativeness and narcissism and things like that. If you are acting and thinking and approaching life with yourself at the center of the universe, that's selfishness. And if you are doing practices and actively trying not to put yourself at the center of the universe, then that is the process of Bramacharya. So from me and P, wishing you all the best, love, positivity and good vibes. See ya!